The key to the city. Where is Mary, the mayor? Where's the mayor? Where's Mary? Vote Mary, right? Vote Mary. I will put that very nicely, Mary. Mayor, I will put it very, very nicely on a place of honor in my office in Manhattan. We all have a lot in common. I love this. So that's a great honor, believe me. Thank you very much. I'll put it over here so I don't forget it. I'll put it over here. Now we have Charles Evers here. Where's Charles? I won't say how old he is, right, Charles? But I'll tell you, he is in good shape. It gives us hope. It gives us hope. Charles, thank you very much. What a great family, great name, great man. Everybody loves Charles. You know, I signed the hat for him, and I didn't want to take it off, because usually if a person's wearing a hat, it means you're sort of missing a couple of those hair follicles, right? So I never like to take it off. Sometimes I'll take it off to sign it for somebody, and they'll, oh. But I took his hat off, right, Charles? And he has this beautiful head of hair. I said, Charles, that's great. 92, 93, so, yeah. Trey Staples, trooper. Where is he? Trey. Where is Trey? Get him over here. Get him over here, quick. Come on. I have all night. Do we have all night or what? What the heck? Come here. Come on over here, Trey. I'll tell you, how great are the police? How great are the police in this country? And bring your wife over, and Trey, get some of those officers. I want to show you guys that are in good shape. I'm a little angry. Get some of the officers up here. We love our police. They take care of us. They are not appreciated like they should be appreciated. And we love our police. Trey, thank you very much. Hit with a bullet, but he's still the toughest guy on the force. They all told me that. That's pretty good, right? So, Trey, thank you very much. Thank you. Look at these guys. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. What a great place, Mississippi. You know, I have a lot of friends that live in Mississippi. I hate to say, there's a lot of wealth in Mississippi. We know that. Got a lot of wealthy people. You have some people, however, that are not doing so well because their jobs are being taken away. Their jobs are going to foreign lands, and we're not going to let that happen anymore, folks. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. It's going to end. It's going to end. There are so many things going on right now worldwide. And, you know, we all like to talk about free trade, wonderful free trade. And, you know, somebody was asking, I just did Sean Hannity's show, who's a really good guy, by the way. And he was talking about conservative. And I'm a conservative, but I like to say conservative with common sense. Free trade is wonderful. I love it. I think it's great. But to have free trade that really works, it's very important and it's very simple. It has to work for two parties. It has to work for the two countries. China, we have a trade imbalance. We are losing so much money, $500 billion a year, okay? That's a trade deficit. That's a trade deficit. Why are we doing this? Mexico, and by the way, we will build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Believe me. Believe me. Oh, they'll pay. They'll pay. They'll pay. And by the way, I have great respect for Mexico. I have many friends from Mexico. I have tremendous amounts of people. They work for me. They're phenomenal people. Thousands. Hispanics, thousands. In Nevada, where I won the state. We won a lot of states. I could go through. The list is so long now, I don't want to bore you going through all of them. The one I really want to win, though, is Mississippi. I want to win. Oh, you're going to be happy. You're going to go home. In 2 years, you're going to say, that was one of the great votes I ever cast, believe me. We're going to be the smart country. We're not going to be the dummies anymore, folks. We're going to be the smart. We're going to be the smart country because isn't it embarrassing? You know, like the Iran deal. We give them $150 billion. We get nothing. We give them $150 billion. We should have had our hostages back 4 years ago. They should have never been taken. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. But we should have had the hostages back years ago. We should have never negotiated until we had our hostages back. And we should have just gone in, and I've said this before, you go in and you say, we have to have our hostages back. This is 4 years ago. And they'll say no. The Persians are great negotiators. They'll say, no way. You say, bye-bye, goodbye, everybody, enjoy it. And then you go out and you double and triple up in the sanctions, and you'll get a call in 24 hours, you've got your hostages. We should have never, ever given them the $150 billion. And I always say, you know, it is the art of the deal. How many people read The Art of the Deal? Like everybody. So then we go in. Thank you, man. Oh, he's got it right there. He's all excited. That's good. I'll sign it. I'll sign it. I'll sign it. I'll sign it. Promise. So anyway, then we go in. The hostages now land. I'd say, make sure they're landed. Make sure the hostages land. Now you're going a second time. We do it twice. And after that, we'll be more reasonable. But you say, listen. And, you know, I tell the story. Some people love the story. But I had a father who was a great guy. Really a great negotiator. And he used to say, son, you're too direct. You're too tough. You got to soften up a little bit. And he used to have the expression, right? Take the lumps out. He used to go, son, take the lumps out. So I would have gone without his knowledge. I would have gone in and said, we're not giving you $150 billion. No way you're ever getting it. All right. So the problem with that is there's great, great hostility on the other side. It'll last a long time. They won't recover it from it. I'll be screaming at them about the money. So my father would say, take the lumps out. So I'd go in differently now. I'd say, fellas, don't forget we already have our hostages. That's done. We paid nothing. We got our hostages. I'd say, fellas, do me a favor. Here's the story. We have a country. It's bust. We owe $19 trillion. We just approved a budget, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen 6 weeks ago, the omnibus budget. It takes care of Obamacare. It takes care of the Syrians coming into our country. It takes care of illegal immigrants coming into our country. It takes care of everything. What are we doing? I said, fellas, we got a country. We don't have the money. We can't pay you the $150 billion. I'm so sorry. I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. I would love to do it, but we can't. We don't have any money. Now, they'll be angry, but not as angry as we're not giving you that money, right? See, I learned. That's called taking the lumps out. Same result, but this way you come back a little quicker. So they're going to get angry and all. You're going to leave, and eventually you'll come back. Now what we've gotten is we've gotten the hostages, we've gotten $150 billion, and now we start to negotiate. Does that make sense to everybody, right? Don't you think? And by the way, that's like 92%, 95%, 98%. No, that's 100%. When I looked over the last week, where Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico. Now, I love Mexico. I love Mexico. I think it's wonderful. Their leaders are too smart for our leaders. It's not even a contest. And he was sitting back, and he was being interviewed, and he threw out the F-bomb. Now, can you imagine if I threw out the F-bomb? I wouldn't even be here. They'd probably be thinking about the electric chair for me. Okay? It's true. They threw out the F-bomb. He did. And he said, and he's come a long way, he said, there is no way we're going to pay for the blank wall. Now, the problem with these people, now watch, they will go blank, they'll go beep, and everybody will say that I said the word. That's how dishonest. Because the most dishonest people, other than Lion Ted Cruz, who really is a liar, right? He is really a liar. Man, that guy, and I'm a good Christian, but I'll tell you what, he walks up and he holds up that Bible, and he's there with the Bible, and he puts it down, and then he starts lying. I call him Lion Ted Cruz. He is good. But he's actually not a good liar because you catch him lying all the time. The best liars are the ones that don't get caught. And then we have little Marco Rubio. I thought when we had, Chris Christie endorsed me. Good guy, really good guy. He endorsed me 2 weeks ago. And when Chris was on the stage, Chris was he's the governor of New Jersey, but he was a former prosecutor and a tough cookie. And I thought, honestly, Marco was going to faint. He was choking like a dog. He was pouring down sweat. And Chris hit him once, and it was fine. He said the Obama thing. Remember the phrase. And then he did it again, and he said it again, and again, and again, and again. And after the 5th time, I was getting ready to see that size of that hand. Look at that. I was going to grab him to show him how strong that hand is, because he made that sucker up. I was going to say, Marco, I won't let you fall. I don't want you to get hurt, Marco. So, I mean, this is what we have, folks. Look, we have a big task. We have a country that is in turmoil. We have politicians that are running that are all taken care of by special interests. They're never going to fix the country for you. And I was one of those special interests. I mean, I hired lobbyists. I was really good. I mean, I was really good. I built a tremendous business. I filed my papers with the federal election. They couldn't even believe it. There were so many of those guys back there. I built an unbelievable, some of the greatest assets in the world, very little debt, tremendous cash flow, tremendous. And by the way, you read about these little tiny businesses, and they're doing well too. All of a sudden I heard that business isn't working. I said, that business is working too. Almost all of my businesses work. I make businesses work. Even when I build in the middle of a depression, I make it work. Now, sometimes the banks have to suffer. Some people have to suffer. But it works. And I have to make it work for me, my family, my company. I make it work. And I'll tell you what, when you look at what's going on in this country, you need the kind of mentality. When you see what I did, and when you see the kind of a business, some of the greatest assets, Doral, we saw the big tournament this weekend, where Adam Scott, how good was Adam Scott? The World Golf Championship. And Adam Scott was fantastic, but I own that. I own that. No partners, no nothing, very successful, great place. I own so many different places. And you know, I'm just saying it not in a braggadocious way, and I don't give a damn about my company once this. If this works, the last thing I care about is how are we doing renting on 40 Wall Street. I don't care. My kids will handle it. They'll be fine. Ivanka, do we love Ivanka, right? And Eric and Don, and they do a great job. And my executives, I have great executives. They'll take care. But we have a really monumental thing, much more important than a company. We have to fix our country. We have to get rid of our debt. We have to at a minimum, get the debt way down. We have to balance our budgets. We have to build up our military. We have to make sure that the drug companies who take care of all these senators start bidding for their products. You know, they have no bidding. These people, you pay practically the same thing. If you want to go into a drugstore and buy something, drugs to make you better, the United States, the biggest drug purchaser of the world, pays about the same price as you do. It's ridiculous. It's no bidding. The same thing with the military. All of my life, I've been hearing about they order a plane that nobody wants, and the plane they do want is less expensive, a better plane, better maneuverability, but the company doesn't have the political context. So they end up getting equipment, planes, whatever it might be, that they don't want. Because these guys are all taken care of, folks, okay? They're all taken care of. Do you know the lobbyists in Washington, of which I know many, and I've hired many over the years, but they're really good. And they have a thing, it's stamped on their forehead. It'll say, Rubio, I take care of Rubio. Another one will take care of another senator. Another one will take, and these guys are good. And they raise millions of dollars for them. And if it's bad for the country, as an example, I talk all the time about Ford moving in. Or you saw the recent one with Carrier. Carrier leaving this country, 1,400 jobs, they're moving to Mexico. Now, I will stop it because there's nobody that has any control of me in the sense that I'm going to do what's right for you. You're the only people that have the control. And I don't know that I get enough credit for it, to be honest, because I don't think I do. But I'm already in for close to $30 million cash. And not that it has an impact, but it's still always a lot of money. To me, $2 is a lot of money. You know, my whole life, and I say this, I've had people come up to me recently, a couple of days ago, Donald, you know, when you're number one, I've been number one almost from the beginning. From the beginning, from June 16th, almost number one. When you're number one, it's like I was so successful with The Apprentice show, and they wanted to renew it. They would have done anything to renew it, but I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm running for president. The head of Comcast came up to see me, great guy. And he said, we really want you. I said, no, I'm running for president. I told him. Nobody believed it. You know, nobody believed it. And the pundits didn't believe it. They all said, he's not going to run. He's not running. You know, there was such surety. These people are so stupid. They're so stupid. And they're saying he didn't run. Then they said, well, he maybe won't sign Form A. Form A is basically the form you sign, one page where you sign your life away. You know, you give your everything. And then you have the financials. Then they say, well, he signed Form A. And then I announced. And then they said, well, he'll never put in his financials. And the financials turned out to be almost 100 pages. They say, well, he'll take his time because you have delays and you can delay it forever. They'll say, he'll put them in after the election, then he won't. Because they said maybe he's not as rich as people think. It turned out that I'm much richer than people think. And I'll be honest, if I didn't run, and there was a chance that I might not, but if I didn't run, I would have put them in anyway because I want to brag about what a good job I did. I've done a great job. So true. But when Steve